Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, and here's a quick look at the 2020 Subaru Legacy, which is similar to the Subaru Outback that I wrote about a couple of weeks ago. Basically, the Outback, of course, is the wagonized version of the Legacy. Used to be based on the Impreza, now it's based on the Outback. But at any rate, the point is you can still get the Legacy, which is still a sedan. Sedans, as many of you know who follow the industry, are falling out of favor. Even formerly very popular sedans like the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord aren't selling as well as they used to, chiefly because people are just into crossovers and wagons now, and they like the additional cargo space and versatility that you get with the crossover layout. However, there are still weirdos out there like me who like sedans just because I think sedans look better. They look less generic than crossovers, which seem to all have been stamped out by the same factory and then given a different badge on the tailgate. Let's see, what has Subaru done for 2020? Two things. They have sexed up the lines of the car considerably. If you look at the 2019, you'll see that the previous model looks much more bland and blasé than the new one, which is a really nice looking car. The other thing that's new, and it's a pro or a con depending on your point of view, is that the previously available flat 6 has been retired. And once again, as I've ranted about regularly, because of the increasingly out-of-control government and its pushy insistence on ever higher fuel economy, despite the fact that gas is really inexpensive and people are not clamoring for this. And also because of carbon dioxide emissions. So at any rate, the bad news is the old 3.6 liter flat 6 is no longer optionally available in the 2020 Legacy. The good news is Subaru did maintain the power output with a new turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's optional. The standard engine does not have a turbo. But at any rate, you can still get a 260 horsepower turbocharged engine in it. It's just not a 6. Performance is really good. So on that score, I'm not faulting the car at all. My only worry, and this is a generalized worry, it's got nothing to do with Subaru specifically, is about the long-term durability of these highly boosted, highly pressurized little engines. And when I say long-term, I don't mean as long as the warranty lasts. I'm one of those weirdos who will keep a car for 12 or 15 years. And if you're one of those people, that's something to be give some thought to as well. We really don't know how these things are going to hold up over 12 or 15 years and 150,000, 200,000 miles. Whereas we do know that with decent care, with regular maintenance and so on, a larger 6-cylinder engine without a turbo is a 200,000 mile or more engine. Anyway, so cue off that rant. Some other things that are pros and cons depending on your point of view. Of course, the new car has automated stop-start, and I personally despise it. I don't understand why so many manufacturers are putting it into their cars as part of the standard equipment suite. Actually, I do understand. Again, it's because of the government, and it's a way for them to make these fractional, tiny little gains in MPGs and to reduce their carbon dioxide emissions. But it's really annoying to have the engine chuff off at every traffic light, and then it kind of goes and it starts again whenever the light turns green. Really, really annoying. I think if this feature were optional, that almost nobody would buy it. Unfortunately, if you buy the new Outback or the new Legacy or any other new car, just about, you're probably going to get stuck with ass. So let's see some other things about the car that you might be interested in. Like a number of new cars, it has a very large touchscreen now. Let's see if I can cue it up. And also, by the way, look at that. It's also got, this is the facial recognition. I'll be quiet. Safety. This is their facial recognition system that boots up when you first get in the car. That scans your eyes, and then as you drive, if you glance off to the left or the right for more than 3 seconds, I timed it, it starts to beep at you and tells you to pay attention to the road. And, you know, I guess their heart is in the right place. I understand what they're trying to do, which is to appease the safety gods and present themselves as being ultra safe. But it also wears on you after a while to have a car constantly beeping at you when you're glancing to the left or the right. And it's debatable whether the net safety effect is better or worse. Whether you're staring directly at the road, sometimes it's important to scan your environment and go left, right, and look around. I personally would not want that feature. Their large touchscreen, which they've also got in the new Outback, it's essentially identical, is really nice in that it's big, and you can see the buttons, for example, for the channels are easy to hit. You've got a lot of real estate there, so while you're moving, the thing with these touchscreens, when the icons are really small, your finger is going to be moving, and because of that, it's hard to really be accurate about what you're pushing. It's fine when the car's stationary, but when you're moving, you want a nice big icon so that you don't have to look at the screen. So, I like that. I like the screen as such in terms of its functionality. My only concern, again, and this is a generalized concern, is the same as the concern that I've got with the turbos. I wonder how this is going to function in 10 or 12 or 15 years. And then my second question will be, what's it going to cost to replace when the screen goes dark? Older vehicles that still had mechanical and individual rotary style controls like this, or mechanical controls, they tended to last longer, and if they did break, you usually had to deal with one particular item. For example, if the volume control stops working, well, you replace the volume control knob and the mechanical components behind it. You don't have to replace an entire touchscreen. And this is terra incognita. We're not really going to know how this is all going to pan out until we get there, and it's going to take another 10 years or so. So we'll see how it all works out. Overall, though, Subaru's done a nice job updating the Legacy, maintaining the power, despite all of the obnoxious government stuff that's coming down the pike. It's really important to bear that in mind. The push to these tiny turbocharged engines is not the fault of the car companies. They're doing their very best to maintain power while the government continues to insist on these fractional gains in mileage. So bear that in mind when you go car shopping nowadays. Anyway, I'll have more about the new Legacy up at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site. And if you haven't caught it yet, you might be interested in the article that was just posted about the hilariously unintended, or perhaps they were intended, effects of ride-sharing, Uber and Lyft. We were told that this was going to be the way that congestion and traffic in the cities was going to be whisk, done away with. In fact, it turns out that ride-sharing has made traffic worse wherever it's been implemented. So if you want a good laugh, stop by the site and check it out and read it. And I'll be on Bill Meyer's radio show later today, and I'll also have the audio of that up on the site, epautos.com. So thanks again for listening, and thanks again for reading, and we'll catch up with you again soon.